Hi there, Dead Ideal Boy here, back with another video, and in this one you're going to see the good and the downright ugly side of Gran Turismo. The racing is amazing, and you're going to see that in the race that we have, but the anger issues that some people have detracts a lot from what could be an amazing environment to sim race on. But everybody has their own opinions on these things, so I want your opinion in the comments. Let me know what you think. Was it justified? And when I say that, you'll know what I mean when you see the incident. But I'll leave it at that. Bit of a cliffhanger. But while you're here, also hit the like button if you like the video. If you're coming back to the channel for more than your first time, then if you've not subscribed, then please hit the subscribe button. Help us potentially get to 10,000 subscribers one day. That would be just the most phenomenal achievement for a channel this size, creating this kind of content. So that would really help me out. Not going to bang on about it any longer than that. I'm sure you're fed up with me begging for subs. We're going to jump in now to the race, and I hope you enjoy it. So here we are, jumping into Daily Race C from Interlagos in Brazil. It's the Group 4 cars. The McLaren is my car of choice, although there were plenty of competitive cars this particular week. But I will be rocking the McLaren, and I'll be rocking it in a rather snazzy Spider-Man livery that has YouTube Wins name on it. But we've also got two really quick guys coming from the back, as you can see there, in the form of Nico and Key 25. Now, Nico is a World Tour driver, and Key is just one of the fastest content creators on Gran Turismo, bar none. So he can mix it with the top split guys, and they are going to be a threat coming from the back. So you've kind of got the fast guys at the front, and you've got the fast guys coming from the back. So yeah, there's a lot to consider in this race, and we've got to really crucially keep this slipstream as long as we can. Now, you're going to see here, getting the braking point right for the Senna S's was absolutely critical, because if you lost it here, if you got up on the curves, if you got a little bit out of shape and you lost the slipstream coming down this straight, then you're a sitting duck for the cars behind. You can see here, we're going to quickly check our brake balance, make sure that it is 5 to the back, because that really helped me in the McLaren when it came to tyre wear and rotation. And you can see in the radar we've got somebody right on our tail. We've got the Spaniard and KRT Sport, who's also very quick, and the Citroen behind us. So that was actually not too bad. We actually survived the first Senna S's, the back straight. We've kept in touch with the leaders, and that was really the main goal here. Because if you lose it on the first lap, then it just becomes such a difficult race to try and hold your position after that. You know, the guy in front, Spaniard, Gil, he was really quick, so I knew from a couple of races previous that staying with him was going to benefit me greatly, because if he could pull me along at his sort of speed, then it would serve me well for the later stages of the race, when the quick guys from the back would no doubt be coming through as a threat. So we take this left-hander here in third gear, power it out, and all very tidy, which was quite surprising for me, because normally at first lap I have terrible bouts of nerves, cold tyres, and yeah, I'm just one of the worst first lap racers I believe out there. I'm such a sort of cautious driver on a first lap that it really is to my own detriment. The amount of times I just lose the cars in front and then become an easy target for the cars behind. As you can see there, it was almost the second lap that got me, as we went right up on the curb, but survived it crucially. And well, you can see the cars in front are now starting to drop me a little bit, and we've got the guy behind, KRT Sport. I thought he was in the Citroen, but he wasn't actually. He was in the McLaren. I think he had later changes to the Citroen in the races that we do after this, but you won't see that. But I think he was quicker in the Citroen, to be fair. You can see here, we're going to flick all the way through to lap 6, because this is where the thing started to really get interesting, because we'd kind of lost touch with the lead group, but P3 went into the pits, and I decided, yeah, that was my cue to pit as well, and we're going to come in. You've got the choice now. You need to either decide to change tyres and lose about 2.5-3 seconds, or not change tyres, and I decided I was going to change tyres. So we're going to see where we come out. We know we're going to have a problem if somebody gets the jump on us, and somebody does get the jump on us. It's another British driver. He manages to get past us, and well, yeah, that's us dropped the position, and we're down to 8th, and I wasn't really sure in the overall scheme of things where that would leave us, but being in 8th wasn't the worst, but we've got Nico, World Tour driver, breathing down our neck. I knew this McLaren in front of us, though, hadn't changed tyres. Well, I was 95% sure they hadn't changed tyres, so it was important that I got past them as quick as I could, because I've got fresh tyres and I've got a really, really quick driver breathing down my neck now, so I don't want to get held up too much here, but it can also be quite difficult to pass if you're quick enough and you can put your car in the right places round Interlagos. It can be a really difficult place to get an overtaking move done. So you always lose a little bit of time coming out that left-hander, but you can gain it and get a good drive out of here, which we do, and he's going to go a little bit wide, and you can see the difference here. My fresh tyres, his worn tyres. That corner was particularly tough to get right if you went to the later stages of the race on old tyres. Now, I've got Nico behind me now. He's in the Citroen, which is a really, really quick car round here and really good on tyres, so I know he's not changed tyres. So, in a way, my fresh tyres against his older tyres would give me some sort of a hope, slight advantage. Well, advantage when it comes to possibly staying with him or defending against him. And I made the choice here to stay out. He's got the option now to maybe take a little bit of a look up the inside and dive, but he decides not to. One of the good things about driving some of these World Tour drivers are, you know that 99% of them are good, clean, fair drivers, and I made a decision here to stay right over to the left, opened the door up for him, because I thought, you know, I'm going to let him through and I'm going to try and use his pace just to see if I can stay with him on the slightly better tyres than he's got. So that was the theory anyway. You can see on the leaderboard, P10, we've got Key coming through now, and he's going to be a threat if we don't if we don't stay with Nico for as long as we can. Now, staying with Nico was going to be a task for me anyway, because, well, I'm an A+ driver when I put my mind to it, but I'm not anywhere near as quick as most on this. So when I'm in this kind of company, I've always got that kind of sort of fear factor, that kind of, do I really belong here? I think they call it imposter syndrome, where it's like you're there, but you're not sure if you should be there. You don't feel like you belong, and I get that a lot in races where the quality of the lobby is really strong. And although there will be stronger lobbies out there, this one did have a strong enough field that did make me have that kind of feeling. But we're in P8, and we know Nico being in P7 means that we're actually driving not too badly. We've got one of our laps into the 37s, so that's something. And yeah, anything in the 37s was actually not too bad. You can see the fastest lap up to this point was obviously Nico in front of us with a 37.6, so, you know, we're not a million miles off the pace. And Interlagos is a relatively strong track for me. Fascinating fact, the first race win I ever had on Gran Turismo, which was Gran Turismo Sport, I actually won it Daily Race C Interlagos. I think it was Group 4 or Group 3, one of them, but it kind of holds sort of good memories for me, because yeah, it was the first time I ever thought I can actually win a race here. Even though it was in the C lobbies, I think, it still gave me the belief that I could improve at the game. But you can see here, Nico's not dropped me, and that's me been sitting behind him now for basically 2 laps. So this is good, this is really good. We're using his slip, but I couldn't work out at this point how many cars in front of us, of the 7, had pitted or not pitted, so I wasn't sure of our overall position here at all. But we're living with a World Tour driver right now. We're staying on his tail, we're staying firmly on his slipstream. He's not dropped me, and we've only got 2 laps to go. Now you can see there, P6 has just went into the pits. That's KRT Sport, who was behind me when I went into the pits, so I need to make sure we get out in front of him. And I was confident we would, because if we're going at the same kind of pace that Nico is doing, then we're doing fine. We're doing fine. You can see I did a low 38 in that last lap, which is not too bad for me. And you can see here, coming around this left-hander, we're still well within the slipstream. And I'm actually starting to think at this point, maybe I can sort of threaten him as we go into the sort of last lap and a half. Maybe his tyres are going to really start to struggle, because my tyres were absolutely fine, as you can see. And we're going to close right up on him here. And as I said, this was a chance. This wasn't just about finishing a sort of close, sort of, well, wherever we finish behind him. But, you know, this could be a chance to actually get in front of him and possibly beat a World Tour driver. Not something that I can say I've done very often. Not on the track anyway, in terms of just a straight out race. I know he started at the back, but now we're just in a straight shootout between the two of us. And it's tighter than I thought it was going to be. It's probably tighter than you thought it was going to be when you started watching this and you seen me behind him and you seen me letting him through. Because when I let him through, I just expected him to drive away from me within a lap or two. But that's not happened. And we're now heading into the last lap, and look how many people are pitting. So we've got a lot of people going into the pits now, and we're now using the pace of Nico, and we're firmly there. We're in the fight here now. We're up to 5th. Nico goes up to 4th as we overtake a couple of a couple of people in the pits. Now, where are we going to come out? We're actually going to come out in 5th, and we've got the guy in P3 has just come out. Now, we've got the momentum. Nico's going to go round the outside. Now, this is an excellent chance for us to make a move. You can see here, he's just going to run a little bit wide as he gets 2 tyres on the Astro. And he must be on old tyres, because you wouldn't go until the last lap and then put on new tyres. There would be no point to that. So he is on old tyres, and we're going to try and hang this round outside, giving each other space. Now, this is going to be a tricky section. Can we go too wide round here? Can we get round him? Now, he's keeping himself just far enough ahead as he outbrakes me slightly there. And you can see we're being very, very respectful. This is great racing, because we're giving each other the space. I eventually kind of have to yield, but that was planned, because I thought, I'm not going to fight him here. P4 is now the goal. Nico's gone. And I just wanted to try and bide my time here and brake early and try and get the switch back on the last corner, because I know he's not got the grip that I have, and we're going to get it done. But we make the slightest bit of contact, and as we back off, he comes flying back across the track and hits me into me, almost loses it completely. Again, we back off, because it was my fault as far as I was concerned. I touched him, so I just wanted to back off, give him the space to try and get back on the track and keep the position ahead of me. But I'm losing now position. We've just lost 2, and Key's right behind us, but we just about hang on there, and just by a 10th or less than that, finish ahead of Key. Now, here's the incident, and look at the fine margins here. The slightest tap, and then as I backed off, we come back across the track as they regained the traction, and we almost took each other out. And yeah, it was a scary moment, but we survived and we got a good finish. Now, I'm jumping forward onto this next race, and I just want to show you a replay incident from it, because I want your opinion on this. Now, these two guys were having, well, looked like a fair enough race here, but then there's a bit of contact here, a bit of contact. Now, I counted that 4 nudges, which caused him to go into a side slide, but he managed to hold it, and he's still there, but it's just over a lap to go. Now, this reaction, was it justified? I mean, it's just an absolute ultimate takeout attempt, and, well, pretty successful, although ruining himself in the process. But here you can see there's a bit of contact there, and a little bit of door banging, but nothing major. But this is the McLaren on the inside. Now, I couldn't tell whether or not this was deliberate or not at the time. A couple of touches there, but I wasn't sure if the Ferrari was turning in or if he was turning out. Either way, it just all seemed a bit kind of messy, but both survive. And then, like I said, is a takeout like this ever justified? I don't know. I've never, well, I have felt the urge to take drivers out before, but I've always kind of controlled myself to the extent where I wouldn't, engage in that kind of activity. But it just kind of made me think about how many times can you be bumped and nudged before you snap. And I suppose everybody has their own limits. It's just, yeah. I really want to know in the comments if you think the 1, 2, 3, 4 little nudges to then get the position would justify somebody going, right, yeah, there's It's no holds barred now. I'm taking you out. Is that ever justified? I don't know. Let me know in the comments who was in the right, who was in the wrong. Was it the orange Ferrari? Can you see his point? Or was it the Red Bull McLaren? Was he kind of just a bit aggressive but didn't deserve that kind of attack on him? I don't know. You let me know, please. I really want to know, because I see these incidents happening a lot, and it's interesting to hear what the community perspective on them is. But if you have enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you've not already. If you're new around here, then that would be amazing to have you on board, and leave a comment saying that you're a new subscriber. That would be fantastic. But yeah, I hope you've all had a wonderful Christmas and you're going to have an amazing new year. I might see you all for a live stream in between, and yeah, hopefully you can join me then. But until the next time, goodbye.